We're going to be talking to folks who are doing the Lord's work, in my opinion. We live in an era where there is government sanctioned kidnappings of citizens of the United States. Forget even citizens of the United States, of human beings who are lawfully within our borders. And in fact, even forget lawfully. There's government sanctioned kidnappings of human beings who are doing nothing to bother anyone. We have protested so many things for so long with no result. We must look at additional methods of resistance. We need to get creative. We need to get, frankly, serious about protecting the people we say we care about. Fortunately for you and me and our eternal souls, there is someone who's out there doing that. There is somebody who we can look at for guidance. Their name is Cesar Vasquez, and I am going to pull them and I think Xavier up now. But let's ask for names. Did I get your names right?
Yes. My name is Xavier. So
Xavier. All right, that's rad. Good job.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hello,
Fellas,
everyone.
can you tell the audience who you are and what organization you're with and what they do?
So my name's Xavier. I am by day, like, I do engineering. I'm an electrical engineer, and I work in the power sector. And I am with the General Strike Carolinas chapter. So that's who I'm representing in this call.
Hello, everyone. My name is Cesar Vasquez. I am here located in the Central Coast in California. I am here representing both General Strike Central Coast, but also my own organization, La Cultura del Mundo, which translates to the culture of the world. So thank you so much for having me.
My understanding, if I'm recalling correctly, is that La Cultura del Mundo was attempting to put on La Puerta de la Mesa. Nope, La Mesa de la. Please help me.
So
Another strike.
La Cultura del Mundo is organizing a national movement. We're starting it on August 1st with La Marcha de la Puebla, Heroes Not Villains. And it's a start of a sustainable movement, right? With the No Kings Day protest, we saw a lot of protesting and we saw a lot of movement for one day. We saw a lot of anger, we saw a lot of action towards one person, but the reality of our current system is that yes, there is one person that is hurting the country, but there are multiple people across the US who have allowed that to happen. So our goal is to change the narrative to show that immigrants are heroes in the community and not the villains, and to do that in a sustainable way with a movement that can continue to happen. And we're not just fighting for, I'm here in California, right? So a lot of the immigrants that we see here are from Mexico and the countries below us, but we're advocating for, immigrants from all countries. We just released flyers in Mandarin, Arabic, French, English, and Spanish so that we can advocate for everyone. So La Marcha de la Puebla, heroes not villains.
Please explain to me how your organizations are resisting ICE kidnappings.
Our biggest and most foremost thing is, of course, resources. So we've been spreading the word on our social medias as well as within, community. We've been telling people to make sure they look out for their neighbors, make sure that their neighbors do know information about whether it's ICE raids, whether it's about ICE visiting this, relative cities within North Carolina, South Carolina. Our major thing, and I'm sure that Cesar will touch on this more, will be the actual general strike that we have coming up on August 1st. So, and if you don't know what that's about, we're planning a general strike, anti-ICE strike. Everyone, who's in solidarity with the message of anti-ICE is going to hopefully strike on that day. Make sure that we don't have people who are actually, we're just coming together with solidarity and making sure our message is heard, that we don't mess with ICE. ICE is not tolerated within our community, and what they're doing is both unethical, immoral, but also just illegal and disgusting.
You had particularly bad abuses of power in LA. On what scale can a strike be done? La Marcha de la Puebla is asking for everybody we possibly can get on August 1st. But say in your town, there's a huge uptick in bounty hunters kidnapping people. Can you organize locally to stop work until they are gone? How do you get together? How do you know that a group is going to join you in that?
Honestly, it's just outreach, right? There are so many affected communities. Go to the bus drivers who take you from place to place. Go to the people who pack your groceries. Right now is a time of so much fear that the people that I am trying to organize are the people who aren't necessarily being affected, if that makes sense. Because
Yeah.
both my parents, they're immigrants. Both my parents are field workers. They've been working in the fields for over 30 years, since they were 16 and 14 years old. It would be unfair to me to ask them to fight against the system when they can then be deported, right? We are asking for everyone who has the ability to do so, to strike, to go to your community, to go to your coworkers and tell them, don't come to work on August 1st. Organize a vigil, organize a march, organize a protest, do something, even if it's standing outside of your business and saying, don't enter today, right? Stay home. Defend the immigrants that feed you, defend the immigrants that keep this country running.
Broadly speaking, the idea here is to, on August 1st, flex our power, whatever that is.
Yes.
Even if it turns out not to be much, gauging how much people give a damn at this
Yeah.
moment. We can't threaten them in the ways that we can be threatened. The only thing they care about is their hoard of gold. So if we can possibly reduce that dragon's hoard a little bit, even by giving America 1 day off, I see a lot of value in that. And give me a moment to pitch to those folks who are thinking, well, I am kind of angling for a promotion. It doesn't affect me quite so much yet. That famous quote from Martin Niemöller, a German pastor. First, they came for the socialists. I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists. I think everybody seems to take that to mean that the socialists come first. It's different for every country. In our case, first we got used to black folks being executed by the government with very little cause. And we didn't stop working. We were willing to protest, but we didn't stop going to work because our little trinkets were that important to us. That's who they came for first. Then they came after the Muslims, and they blamed them for an attack that not all Muslims did. We are not at the first they came for the socialist part. In that quote, it turns out that the immigrants are about where the trade unionists are, about middle of the quote. And you might not be at the end of the quote, my friend. It doesn't necessarily end with the group you're in. And it certainly doesn't end with the economic class that you're in. So if you're even a little bit nervous that they might be coming for you, just take off the 1st of August. Unofficial holiday for decent people. Take it off, and if you want to really show your allies that you give a damn, make it very publicly clear why you're taking it off. Post it all over your social media and say, I am taking off August 1st because I am sick to death of my fellow countrymen, by which I mean people who are in the same country as me, being kidnapped long term. We are flexing our power for the first time on August. The first time you go to the gym is not very impressive. So what about 6 months from now? How do we help get to a stronger place then?
That's a great question. So August 1st is a starting point. It's historically been a day of starts. It's the same day that the Harlem riots started. It's the same day that the 1936 Olympics started, when Jesse Owens stood up to Hitler, right? So August 1st is a day of starts. It's not a day of ending. It's not a day. It's a marathon, right? On August 1st, you organize your community. If you can't not go to work, then after work, hold up a sign in the corner of your street, the corner of Main Street, and say, here we are, right? We have a map of solidarity. Go to our website, fill out that you're going to be protesting on this day at this location in this city so that you can show the world that we are coming together to fight for all immigrants. After this, our goal is we're going to be sending out resolutions across the United States where people can input their own ideas on how to defend immigrants and integrate them into their city levels. Our goal from there will then be to push those resolutions to be passed at the city level so that there can be hotspots of protection for immigrants across cities. Because obviously, right now, we can see our federal government isn't going to defend us. So we have to create the defense locally. From there, it's city to city, state to state, until we can create an America ran by the people and not by the power that we have known.
Absolutely crucial what you've said, because that also means we don't have to wait in 2-year increments for safety for human beings. You can do it right now in your town. Make it happen. Case in point, just to tie it to another major political event, Zohran Mamdani offering free childcare to residents of New York. Once upon a time, that was something Joe Biden was trying to pass, and it's because Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin didn't get on board that it didn't pass. It could have been federal, but because it wasn't, it was still able to be done at the city level. If you can do that for groceries, you can certainly do that for human beings not being stolen off the street. You've just answered this. I'd like you to do it again anyway, because it's a great question and it deserves to be underlined. And hold off for the sake of our handsome editor. I'll point to you when it's time. I wonder if they know how home health care workers can show solidarity. Mine won't not take care of me for a strike. Does she just not mark the hours worked that day? Gentlemen, do you want to give a quick summary of what you said regarding what you do if you can't take off work?
Protest after work.
Yep. That's all I can say. Protest after work. Make sure that they show up at other events that we have going on. Make sure that they let people that they know that there's a general strike going on. You know, you don't have to, like, if you can't attend, and I understand there's a lot of essential professions, there's people who are scared, especially if you live in at-will states or you live in states where they can just get rid of you for any type of reason they want. It can be scary. So you don't have to be the one on the front lines. You can always tell people who you know. Take off the 1st of August. Take off that day. Say that you're sick. Don't say anything. Just do what you have to do. If you can't do it, connect your network. Connect those dots. See who people are interested in joining you with that strike. Make sure they can help you for you.
There's 35 people watching right now. All of them, presumably, have a YouTube account. I beg you, do a post in your community tab. Simple as that. On YouTube, do a post with a link to where people can volunteer. On a related note, Stella says, I'm a dot of blue in a sea of red. I would love to be a safe place for someone feeling it in South Carolina. Is there a registry of any kind, says this angel? What do you guys
Yes, there is. So if you go to our website, laculturadelmundo.org, there is a section that says La Marcha de la Puebla. And if you scroll down a bit, you can see our map of solidarity. There you can input your information, where you want to host your event, march, vigil, community meeting. And from there, we'll add it to our map so other people in South Carolina can then go check, where is this protest going to be? They can find your information and we can all come together, right? Our mission isn't to create multiple movements across America, but one continuous movement where people of all demographics come together for each other. It's been very difficult times. I shared earlier that I've been up since 4 a.m. this morning patrolling for ICE. We've spotted over 44 vehicles, ICE vehicles in a city of 100,000 people.
What do you do when you see them?
We see them. It's a really hard time, you know. We're seeing 4 people getting picked up every day or so. Recently, I was sent to help a mother who was pregnant, who had her 2 kids. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be there in time. She was deported with, you know, while pregnant, 2 kids.
A pregnant mother taken away from her children. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
These are the
Within,
villains they're trying to stop.
yeah.
What labor unions are you engaging with, and what does that look like in terms of a general strike?
Yeah, so for labor unions, within the Carolinas ourselves, we actually engage with a lot of different labor unions. We actually have a lot of people who come in to join our chapter, to link with our chapter essentially as part of a union, to be like, okay, here's our contact. We're an intermediary, we're a liaison you can reach out to. We'll let you know when we have meetings and you can join. So we have USSW, the Union of Southern Service Workers. We have some mentions in there, a couple events as well. But we have a lot of different unions that we interface with. And the purpose of the general strike is not necessarily about like, oh, it's our general strike, the Carolinas or even the General Strike U.S. Organization. It's actually more so about just connecting the dots between everyone, right? So if you are like, hey, I'm interested in doing a strike, you can go ahead and turn around and be like, hey, listen, can I get in touch with this labor union? And maybe they can feed us information about what we need to know. They could tell us information on our end, so we could tell all of our people within our network, hey, here's what these union people think is the best decision. Because the fact of the matter is, unfortunately, being from the South, a lot of places are at will, so you can get terminated at any time, any place, for anything, and they don't really got to tell you why. And so inherently, you have a lot of reluctance and worry from people who work in the South that if they get caught or whatever taking 8-1 off, and then maybe the general employer figures out, oh, that's when the strike was supposed to happen, they may get terminated. So they give you those resources, they give you advising, they give you ways that you can just reach out and spread the message. We are not necessarily a part of any type of labor union, but we support all labor unions. We back them all because we all believe that the right to work, and not only that, but just workers altogether, we hold the power. We make sure that the elites get the money, right? They can report their earnings, and if we stop working altogether, they got no earnings to report. And that's really the fact of the matter.
And this truly is starting to take advantage of the structure of rule that the oligarchs have set up. Because back in the day, if you were a CEO of a company, you would expect to be at that company for 30 years, not unlike the employees. And so the company's overall health reflected on you. That is no longer the case. CEOs do this like gig work now, and they only care about getting the 5 or 6 quarters that they're in charge to look, not necessarily be, but to look very profitable. So if you get a big enough strike in even one industry, particularly an industry that has an oligarch that's doing a lot of evil, you can put the fear of God into them by saying this quarter that you were willing to fire half your employees to gig the numbers for is actually going to be way less productive than you thought. This is a way to cause pain that only villains will feel. And I think it's genius that you guys are doing this. There was a comment here that I'd like you guys to address, and it's going to be hard. Sorry. And I say this to you also, audience. Don't hold it against them if they don't have an answer. You guys, if you don't have an answer, it's fine. Carl Schmidt says, except for the police union, they ain't like us. Here's my question. Is that so? Could we not use the police union? Let me put it like this. Their ICE ain't police. No matter how much they try to pass themselves culturally off like that, and no matter what other evils a different organization have done, they are not the same thing. So I hand it over to you. And again, there is no answer that's right or wrong.
Yeah, I want to give some background, right? So this movement, I started this movement a few months ago, and this movement is entirely youth-led, right? My team ranges from 12 years old to 24 years old. And so it's led by the people being affected. I have people in my team who are immigrants. I have people in my team who are children of immigrants, who are the field workers, who are the working class. And so this movement is for them, the families, and everyone like them across America. When I'm organizing, when I'm being a leader, people constantly ask me, what am I fighting for? Right? And my answer is always, I'm fighting for hope. right? And I'm fighting for a better future for my team, for the 12-year-old that's on my team, so that she can grow up into a better future. And the only way to do that is if we work together, if everyone comes together to support each other. The reason that people across the world have faced so many difficulties is because we have constantly been at war with each other. And the only way that we can truly live in a peaceful world, for the 12-year-old on my team to truly live in a peaceful world, is if we come together and we support each other. And so, yes, even the police's union, right? At the end of the day, there's not going to be a perfect world if there isn't people supporting each other. That's my answer. That's my personal opinion. Xavier, if you have a different answer, I completely understand that too.
No, I mean, I think I really respect I would love, if we had police officers and people who a lot of people perceive as in power, the peacekeepers, right? The authorities actually coming along and supporting us. I think, and this is totally irreflective of, I want to say, my general chapter. This is just a personal take for me. My issue with the police unions is that they tend to do a lot of they'll brush up the work for the people who don't do so good. And so, if you have police officers who come, they're like, listen, I'm with the general strike. I think what's happening in this country is disgusting. And I hate how ICE agents are trying to masquerade as peacekeepers, and they're actually doing a lot of harm. Absolutely, we'll accept you. I think the general issue, and I think this for me personally with the police union, is that they operate like a mob, right? A lot of times what you have happening is you have a police officer doing a grave injustice, just absolutely disgusting overreach of the law. And then you have their boys, the union, who come by and they're like, it's okay. Listen, it happens. It happens in the exercise of the law. And while it is, I think it's completely messed up. If you're going to work with us, absolutely. But I frankly see police as being protectors of the elite. They're the long arm of whoever is paying them the most amount of money, whoever's giving the contracts. And unfortunately, if you look at who it is, they're protecting, business owners in interest. Like, would you think it's reasonable that in New York, where there's a whole lot of just, injustice from the police union and all that stuff themselves, they're going to go and deploy a whole brigade to take care of Teslas getting vandalized, things that are, it's a piece of metal, it's a car, and a shitty car at that.
The union leaders of today are going to be inevitably replaced by the officers of today. And the officers of today might be wrong-headed, but they will at one point reflect upon their actual lived experience. And when that whole brigade of cops was deployed to go protect Teslas, there was somebody who had to cancel a date with his new wife to go stand in front of a rich man's cars. And he'll remember that. In addition, ICE just got $170 billion. That is more money than some countries' militaries have to spend over 4 years. Now, if you go to a police officer and say, how much overtime did you have to work? How many calls did you have to go to that a social worker should have been sent to, that a trained psychologist should have been sent to? Instead, they sent you for the little money you make when you're already exhausted. They weren't willing to pay for that convenience for you, but they were willing to pay a bounty hunter to walk around your town, waving around a gun in your town, causing paperwork for you in your town, officer. There's a pitch to be made to these people, even if they don't share our fundamental morality yet. I think there's inroads. But I also think you guys are being very practical, because you're right. The union leadership isn't going to give.
I really agree with you. I think that, I hope I don't have to see eye to eye with everyone who is in this movement with us. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I ever will. I think there's just so many people who want to change things. And the fact of the matter is, and I've been saying this to my friends who are a little bit on the fence, look, any person who feels like there's wrong going on in this country, I think fundamentally, if you are a good person, you see that this is wrong. You see what's going on with the tax dollars going away from we can't afford healthcare to funding a concentration camp and whatever. You see all that and you're like, this is wrong. You may be more on the conservative side, but look, we all have more in common with each other as the workers, from the construction worker to the trash man to the high up, cushy person who's working in an office. We all have more in common than we do a billionaire. The billionaire got so much money, he doesn't see us no more. He just sees stacks and stacks of money. We got to work together. And I think if the one cop is like, you know what, damn right, that's messed up, welcome to the team, man. We want to have you who can help us, because we need everyone we can get to stick it to the man.
I have more in common with a farm worker who doesn't speak a lick of English, that was born in a totally different country, than I do with somebody who was born next door and makes $100,000 a year more than me.
Yeah.
In terms of our lifestyles, way more relation to the farm worker than the rich guy.
Exactly.
Good, great guys. It breaks my heart to say this, but we're out of time. I want to talk to you guys and anyone from your organization as much as possible, because we need you. So all right, I'll just be real. A lot of pressure, tons of pressure. Doesn't matter. You got to do it anyway.
I'd love to come back. No, this was a great opportunity. I love being able to share my perspective as an individual, as part of a collective organization, and really just spread some hope amongst everyone. Because I feel like now's a really easy time to get down and be like, we can't do much. But coming on stuff like this really helps.
Yeah, we need to spread the word. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
One more time, where can people go to be ready for August 1st?
August 1st, go to laculturadelmundo.org. Reach out to me by Instagram if you'd like to, Cesar Vasquez _535. For everyone's information, I'm 17 years old and I've been doing this since I was 13. So I've been doing this for a while, but this is really a personal fight for me. So thank you for having us, and I'd love to work with anyone and help anyone that needs support.
We're not going to the Power Report yet. You're 17 years old, man.
I'm 17 years old.
That's amazing. Yes. That's amazing.
You were out at 4 a.m. defending your community at the age of 17 instead of getting hammered and making mistakes with gals.
Someone has to. Yeah,
you're doing good stuff.
It's a trade-off for sure, but someone needs to do the work.
And if you're interested about some more information about the General Strike, you can go straight on Google, type in General Strike U.S., go on the website, sign your strike card. It's not a commitment. It's just showing that you're in solidarity with the message. And then from there, if you're interested, I believe there's a link tree on the website you can go on. You can join the Discord if you're interested and find your local chapter there. And if you really want to get involved with your community, you can hop straight in, get the chatting, find your community. South Carolina, North Carolina, doesn't matter. South, North, East, West. We'll be here for you.
Everywhere.
We'll be here for you.
We're everywhere.
Indeed. Fellas, thanks again. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Well, it's going to take a moment to digest. We're relying on a 17-year-old to save us. That's how badly we've failed. Please get out there. Don't make him stand alone. Genuinely, Cesar is a hero. That is, if you ever wanted to know what a real-life hero looks and sounds like, you just saw two.